Good morning, YouTube. This morning we're using Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and we'll be flying around the Las Vegas area just as we did with X-Plane 11 yesterday. I don't intend to spend as much time flying around it, and I don't have the ability or capacity to do a replay of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So I think what we'll do is we'll just fly around, have a look using the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and have a look at Vegas. And then we'll fly over to Boulder City and land at KBVU. So we'll get a visual on that, and we'll use the VOR or waypoint to fly there. Now I've recently learned that turning your aircraft on with the avionics on is bad for the avionics and could potentially kill it. So with that being said, I will from here on out program the avionics, turn it off, start up the aircraft, and then turn the avionics back on. Let's see, comms, I think we're looking, what is it, 118.475 for the comms. Let me hit this warning, get that off. Why don't I see it moving? Oh, that's the audio level. 118. .475. Let me just verify that that is the correct information for weather. 118.475, and then for the nav we need 116.7. That will be the Boulder City or BLD waypoint that we'll be heading to later. So that 116.7. And the bearing on that, I'm just guessing, but I think it will be 108. So we'll set a heading of 108. Well, I have 100 or 110 for heading, so we'll do that. And VOR, let's see, course. Yeah, I looked up this information yesterday, so I'm just going by memory. And then I woke up fairly early. I mean, it's like a little after 2:30 in the morning right now for me. All right, a bearing course of 110 and a heading of 110. That looks good. Radio station looks good. 116.7 and then 118.475 for the comms. All right, let's turn avionics back off. Of course, with the battery on, that's on anyways. So mixture, 20% on the throttle there. Yeah, it cranked. Okay, I barely turned the key and that thing turned on there. Alright, avionics back on. 11847. Just making sure all of my information is still there. Alright, and I'm guessing this one is me, so it looks like I need to take a little right, go a little ways, take another right onto the runway. Brakes are off. Let's step outside the aircraft for a minute. flights. Yeah, I wasn't very impressed with the X-Plane 11 graphics in Vegas from yesterday, so I'm kind of curious to see how well or how poorly Microsoft Flight Simulator does. I know Vegas for any video game is going to be somewhat graphics intensive, and I do have a slightly newer computer, but I don't have the most expensive or best computer out there, so sorry, I'm paying attention to taxi here. Let's go this way. Oh, yeah, that looked good. So I don't have the single, the best computer necessarily for game. I have a good gaming computer, but not the best. I got whatever was affordable for me at the time. And dude, why are you standing there in my way? What, are you on your cell phone? And due to the audio issues I've been having, with the game audio overriding my voice in some of my videos, I have my audio turned way down so I can't hear the aircraft RPMs, as the plane's spinning up. I can't hear the flaps when I deploy them, which I do use those cues as I fly. They come in handy, but I think it's also beneficial to me if I don't have them turned up very much, and then I don't have to worry so much about the speaker audio overriding the microphone. Alright, I think I have two stages of flaps deployed presently. Let me just, no, I need to get rid of that yoke. Yeah, okay, so we're good. We're ready for takeoff for the most part. Time of day in Vegas right now is really around 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. or a little after 11. I have us flying here around, 3:25? Alright, I'm going to test the brakes here. For that, I'm just spooling up the RPMs, about 1800 RPMs. Then I'm releasing the brakes and we're taking off. Rotating. Retracting the flaps. I'm not liking the look of Mandalay Bay already. We're not even there yet. It just looks worn down. Alright, I'm slowing the RPMs down and thus far, I'm not impressed with the way the building looks. I just, I get the sense of post-apocalyptic, you know, like the world came to an end and this is what's left over. And maybe it's my graphics setting. So if anybody out there sees this and understands why it's looking so scruffy, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And it is jumpy a little bit. That big ride that was there isn't there in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 that it showed being in X-Plane 11. That building looks alright, but I think it looked better in X-Plane 11, but it doesn't look too bad. It's just the reflections off of it they look unreal. But again, this could be my graphic settings and not just the game itself. They just look like static images, pictures, and not very good quality pictures, but low quality resolution images pasted over structures. Paper mache, that's kind of what it looks like, paper mache. I can't do a replay. I know I've already said that, but just a reminder, I can't do a replay in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and that's a bit of a disappointment to me because the replays come in pretty handy, and they're fun. Even if they weren't handy, they're fun to replay and look at. You know, you can check your, oh, there's that one building that I had some interest in yesterday. It 500. I heard that. And then I wanted to see the parking structures that were over here that were being depicted in. They look better here. They look more like parking than they do a construction zone. There's the Trump building. I'm gonna try to fly through here. I know I'm doing dangerously now. I did all right yesterday, but I don't see the path so much that I took yesterday down the strip. Ooh, that's a cool looking building there. I had a friend that used to work at the Mirage years and years ago. Caesar Palace. Yeah, you can see a lot more, I think. It doesn't, like I said, it kind of looks old, and the graphics aren't doing any better in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 than they were in X-Plane 11. But as far as being able to read the buildings and what's on the buildings, I get more of a sense that we can do that in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 than we were able to in X-Plane 11. But as far as how the buildings actually looked and the reflections off of them, I think they looked better in X-Plane 11. And with it being jittery like this, I'm getting a sense of fear a little bit, possibly hitting a building, like it might stutter on me, and before I know it, or before the jitters recover, I'll have hit a building. Alright, so now that we've flown back and forth through the city, we'll fly to this waypoint. I will turn the autopilot on and we'll intercept the radial to it and fly to it. Yeah, Boulder City is a short flight from Vegas, and it's about 16 miles away. Alright, so we're going to start with heading and nav. Is that nav? Nav mode. Give it a little more power here as well. At least 2100 RPMs, 2200 RPMs. And we'll do an altitude hold. I probably should climb maybe to about 3,000 or 4,000 feet, but I'm going to leave it as it is for the time being. Looks like we are intercepting the radial. I'm just looking at the VOR up here. We're flying at an angle like that. We'll intercept it and then fly the course to it. I do apologize for the graphics. Once we get out of the Vegas area, things should get a lot smoother in both X-Plane 11 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Yeah, let's raise the altitude at least 1,000. What do you say? I zoomed in there. I have the hardest time adjusting these knobs. 28. Is it only going in steps of 100? Alright, vertical speed. Up, 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 up. 500. We'll give it more power. We are almost to the radial, and then once we've intercepted it, we'll veer to the right just a little bit and fly the remainder of the distance until we get a visual on the Boulder City Airport. Let me have a look at the mountains. I'm looking for Mount Wilson. And it's probably over there or potentially over there. And I might not even be able to see it from where I'm at yet. But my guess is there. I could be mistaken. If it's not there, over here. Mount Wilson. Well, we'll probably fly by it tomorrow. Talk more about it. It's in the San Jose National Forest. Or San Juan, excuse me. Lizard Head Wilderness in the San Juan Forest, and it's about 14,252 feet high. So neither of those to me seem like that one potentially. But we might not be close enough to see it. traffic. These are fixes. I'm just looking to see Boulder City Airport. I'm doing more talking than I am paying attention to what's around me. And this area is so busy, I might have that much more of a challenge actually identifying the airport or seeing the runway without looking at the GPS. That body of water over there probably connected to Lake Mead. I'm not high enough altitude to actually see, but I'm making a bit of an assumption. I probably should increase my altitude just a bit more here by the look of it. I'll go to 4,500. Yeah, the graphics very jittery. Even outside of Vegas, jittery. Yeah, most definitely like me. My keys are unresponsive. And trying to switch back and forth between the views. So there's the Boulder waypoint. We should be almost close enough to get a visual on the runway, perhaps after we come over this hill, this little mountain, and level out. The Hoover Dam should not be too far from us. But that is not for today. I was thinking the Hoover Dam for tomorrow. Alright, so we are like at the waypoint and I do not see the airport. There it is. Alright, we've got our visual. I'm going to take it out of autopilot. throttle back here. I've engaged some flaps, just the first stage. We are likely heading directly to the Hoover Dam. If we see it, it's inadvertent. It isn't my intent. I was just going to head out to these mountains a little bit and then turn back for the runway. They do look pretty. I'd like to get a closer up view of those, so maybe tomorrow when we check out the Hoover Dam, we'll be able to see the visuals on these hills a little bit more. Now I'm so low I can't see the runway. It's up there. I'm beginning to see the PAPI lights there. Alright, more flaps. I can't give it any more flaps after that. And one of those runways looks really, really short, but I don't really need a long runway, so I'm going to use the short one. Coming in a little close to those power lines. I don't know if anybody sees them, but they're right there. What a tiny little strip. Does it have an X on it? Maybe we shouldn't be landing on it. Yeah, it does have an X on it. Alright, hitting the brakes. It is a shame you can't do a replay. I would love to see the landing. I came in a little fast. Usually I like to do about 60 knots, but I was just above 60 knots as we came in. So it was interesting that I was coming in a little fast on a short runway. But some of my flying is sort of like how people play piano. It's by ear, you know. I don't always do just procedure. Alright, where do I want to park? Right next to that red one and that red one. Or maybe that green one. I want to park over there to the right. That green one looks cool. Oh, there's a gray one too. I didn't see him. Alright, right here works. So, avionics off first, and then we'll cut everything else off. Brakes. I'd do a replay. I'm sorry, I don't have that capacity. Y'all have a good morning.